Welcome, Fantasy Balls team managers. We're back. It's a recap of week 13. I'm feeling better, still on the mend a little bit, so I might get some coughs up here and there. Might still sound a little congested. We're fine. Gonna preface this one. Probably gonna be a longer video. Chumba informed me today. Not really informed. I was made aware when I uploaded it. Didn't realize that last week's was almost 20 minutes long. That's on me. It felt a lot faster. Was very out of it. But it's fine. We're fine now. Gonna try and make this one quicker than that, but there's still a lot that I'd like to go over, including all that could happen this week in the league. Not really sure 100%, but I think this is our most intense final week of the season that we've ever had. No, this league is still pretty young, but it's fine. Have here all of the potential things that could happen, but first let's get a quick recap of last week. And I'm going to really try and make this recap quick because I want to focus on this week more. Game of the week. I'm pretty sure I made this game of the week. I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure this is what it was. I don't really remember. I'm calling it the game of the week now. Barclays Thunder Thighs versus Diversity Inclusion. 131.78 versus to 131.58. Eddie beats Brochard. Tough game. Travis Etienne squeaks this one out for Eddie, and I think this is very telling. I'm pretty sure this was the game of the week because I thought it was a challenge for Eddie. Brochard, a potential playoff team, versus Eddie, the number one seed. Thought this would be a good matchup for the game of the week. Ended up being a great one, separated by 0.20 points. Sorry, email. Good game, good matchup. Think it's very telling for Eddie's future. Squeaking out wins against a potential playoff team. Not even a team that's for sure going to make it. What the fuck happened to the music? I have to have something playing or else my headphones will turn off. So something has to be coming out of the headphones. So sorry. Just noticed that it came off. Why is this not... What the fuck is happening? You know, a lot of people would quit and start over. Not me. Not me. We are... What the fuck? Alright, whatever. I'm gonna monitor it. Close game, really telling for Eddie's future, I think. Squeaking out a victory against a barely playoff team. Next, interesting matchup here. Team Wallach versus Win or Lose, We Booze. I think it's a big shame that Griff had such a slow start to the season because Griff is really turning into one of these guys that can cause some damage, apparently. Griff put up 173 points to Chumba's 117. To be fair, Chumba had 3 people put up 4 people less than 5 points. So Chumba's team wasn't all there. But you know, you don't get a bye in this league. You gotta play hard every week, in and out. Griff, CeeDee Lamb, Jamar Chase, Dak Prescott, huge games from all of them. Griff putting up the second most in this league this week. But Griff has really made a comeback in the last couple of weeks and is still playoff eligible. We'll get into it. Alec is the top scorer, taking down Return of the King, Justin Runge, 185 to 153. Alec, strong showing, 180 points is always huge. Several people with 20 plus. Trevor Lawrence, who left early, late in the game, but he still left early. Christian McCaffrey, Michael Pittman Jr., Jake Ferguson was 0.3 points away. We'll count it. So yeah, lots of big games for Alec up and down the board. Runge 153, still respectable, but can't pull out the win this week. Would have beat most teams. However, can't get a slide. Move on to my game with Jake. This one was a lot more interesting going into the Monday night matchup. Jake was about 18 points up on me with Christian Kirk left, and I had Joe Mixon and Evan Ingram. For those of you that didn't watch, Christian Kirk got hurt on literally the first play of the Jaguars' drive of the game. Caught the ball, ended up getting 3.6 points from that catch, but left the game, did not return. Joe Mixon, 2 touchdowns, 29 points. Evan Ingram, first touchdown of the season, 23 points. I ended up, I'm not going to call it a blowout, but beat Jake by about 30 points. Quite the margin when this game was a lot closer, and I was sweating a little bit of if I was going to be able to pull out a win, and I was able to, which makes things interesting going forward, but again, we'll get into it. Final game of the week, Johnny Boy going up against Upstate New York Sucks Connor. Again, this one was a little more interesting. Some point on Sunday, I forget, Connor had quite the lead. When I looked on Monday, John had quite the lead, and Connor didn't do his chug. So it was clear that John was going to get the W. But this one was open for Connor to take. John only put up 115 points. So definitely there for the taking. Connor did not go for it, could not get it. Really only could have changed his kicker and had a better game. Actually could have put A.J. Dillon in as well. It's not a great lineup for Connor this year. Been struggling all over. But if Connor had won this game, would have made things even more interesting this week. But still, plenty of interesting stuff to go. Real quick, standings recap. We're already 7 minutes in. Let's go. Eddie already clinched number 1 seed. Clinched the division. It's fine. In the upstate side, we have Chumba, Runge, and Jake all clinched spots now. Kind of annoyed that Jake clinched a spot even though he lost. Whatever. It's fine. I understand how it happened, but come on. So we have John, Brochard, myself from Long Island, and Alec and Griff. Almost went to this finger even though I had another thumb over here. And Griff all competing for the last 2 playoff spots. Almost messed up the math there. 5 people, 2 playoff spots. Written down here all the ways that they can secure. Wow, this math has changed since I wrote this down. Thanks for that, ESPN. John, not too much. It hasn't changed too much. John has the highest chance to clinch a spot at 88% now. 87% earlier, whatever. If John wins, he's in no matter what. If Brochard loses, John is in no matter what. If Alec loses, John is in no matter what. John can miss the playoffs if he loses, Alec wins, and Brochard wins. It comes down to total points. They will all have the same record. And it's whoever has the most total points will then go into the playoffs. So there is a chance that John misses the playoffs. It's a very, very long shot, similar to Griff and I making the playoffs. Either of us, not both of us, either of us making the playoffs. John is more than likely in. In fact, I have a second thing over here, different website. I used it last year, the Fantasy Football Hub. John, according to this, has a 99.96% chance to make the playoffs. So it's very unlikely that John misses out, but it is technically possible. Okay, next, diversity inclusion. Brochard, earlier had a 42% chance, now it looks like he's got a 45% chance. Brochard is in if he wins and Alec loses. Brochard misses the playoffs if he loses and Alec wins. Can make the playoffs if both Brochard and Alec lose. It comes down to a tied points, though. Or not tied. The tiebreaker comes down to points. This other website gives me more insight to that. It's head-to-head matchup. Their head-to-head matchup is tied. Therefore, it goes to points scored. Alec earlier had a 61% chance to make the playoffs. Now it is down to 55%. Interesting. Alec wins, Brochard loses, Alec is in the playoffs. Same thing, vice versa. Their odds are the opposite. So if Alec misses by losing and Brochard wins. Can make the playoffs if both of them tie or both lose, comes down to points again. Here's where things start to get interesting. Griff and myself both still have a chance to win, to make playoffs. I earlier had a 7% chance. Now it's up to 8% chance, according to ESPN. Let me share this one. Alec, according to this website, has a 91.46% chance. Brochard has an 8.57% chance to make the playoffs. So again, John's almost a shoo-in, according to this website. Alec is very close to being a shoo-in as well. Anyway, myself to make the playoffs. Get ready for the list. Eddie has to win. Justin has to win. Connor has to win. John has to win. And I have to win. And I also need to win the tiebreaker in points between myself, Alec, and Brochard. Okay. Griff, who has a 2% chance earlier, 3 according to ESPN now, needs the same thing. Eddie, Justin, Connor, John, and Griff all need to win, and Griff would need to win the point break, or the point head-to-head. According to this website, I have a 0.01% chance of making the playoff, and Griff is already eliminated. Griff has no chance. The reason for that being is Alec has I got the point differentials too. I said differentials weird. Alec has the control of points scored over all of us. Alec right now is plus 28.18 over Brochard. Doable. I'm a little closer. Alec has a 26 flat point differential over me. Why did I say differential weird again? Actually, I didn't even double check. This is from the website. I didn't double check their math. Yeah, we both have a 0.32. All right, I'll believe it. And then the reason why Griff has such a low percent chance is Alec has a 95.48 point differential advantage over Griff. So Griff would have to score 100 more points than Alec and outscore the rest of us and our point differential. So 5 people are eligible, technically. Long shots for 2 of them. Pretty straightforward. I need to blow my nose. I don't know if you can hear it. Alright, I just did that. That'll work for now. Sorry. I'm so sorry. John has the easiest path. Griff and I have a very hard path. It's that one... Fuck. Jesus. It's that one spot that is open, really. And there's 4 people competing for that one spot. John's odds of not making the playoff are extremely low. All right. But there is a chance that John doesn't make it. There's also a chance that a losing team with a losing record makes the playoffs. So a lot of things could happen. If you've made it this far, good luck. League office has started to plan out the league vote for the off season. Already have quite a bit of proposed rules. Again, I've shared this before. I do a fair amount of research. I'm not like sitting up every night looking at ways to improve the league, but every now and then I'll peruse what other leagues are doing and getting an idea. So right now I think there's already 10 proposed fantasy football rules from myself that I've seen other places that seem fun. And then I think there's like 6 for fantasy baseball. If one of those is, do we do another fantasy baseball season? I'm all for fantasy baseball. I don't want to seem that I'm not into it. I just feel that some people don't really care about fantasy baseball. Don't want to just continue to force it on people if we don't want to do it. I think that it'll be interesting this year. A lot of the votes are going to be based around keepers. I've, again, done a lot of looking at other leagues. Interesting to see what other leagues do. It seems that a lot of these leagues that are repeat leagues year after year have 3 keepers. We currently have 1. There are rules to vote for more. There are rules or votes for rules for more, votes for rules about who you can keep, who you can't keep. Lots of things. So interesting stuff coming in the vote. Keep an eye out for that and for the future. Totally forgot to say this earlier about the frauds that are Eddie. Had anybody gone up against the schedule that Eddie had this year, only one team would have a losing record, and that is Connor, and he would also be 1-12 still. Everybody else would have a winning record. I'd be 9-4. John and Griff would be 7-6. Chumba would be 11-2 as well. Justin would be 9-4. Oh no, Jake would be 9-4. Justin would be 7-6. Brochard and Alec would also be 7-6, and then Connor would be 1-12. So interesting to see how everybody would do against Eddie's schedule. Furthermore, if we added, never mind, that's not what, everybody's weekly record, if you went up against everybody, Chumba would be the leading team, followed by Jake, then Alec, then myself, then John, then Brochard, and Eddie would be all the way down at 7th. Eddie would be in 7th place versus everybody else's record. Versus most teams, Eddie has a losing record, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So against half of the league, he would have a winning record. Half the league, he'd have a losing record against any other schedule. So just some interesting some stuff about Eddie, since we keep talking about him being a fraud. 18 minutes. I'm done. Bye.